Yeah, well, I've been had a home set up, bro, since I was 16, 17 years old. Of course, it has evolved over time with better equipment, better microphones and stuff like that. But my process is simple, dog. I get the beat, I listen to it for about 3 days, just to kind of live with the track, just to kind of get a feel of it, because I like to really know what's about to happen in the track next. Okay, so for example, okay, at 1:30, the beat is about to drop out, and then it comes back in at 1:45. So I like to really, like learn the track in and out. And then after that, I come in the studio, man, and I drop it in Pro Tools and I record and I freestyle, because I don't really do any melodies, anything like that outside of the studio, because I forget a lot of stuff all the time. I have so much on my mind. I do a melody that's dope, and man, forget to record it. And next thing you know, I don't have it anymore. But what the pandemic did for me as a creative was it got me back focused, man. It allowed me to strengthen certain areas of my writing and as an artist. I said before, I got a lot of my inspiration from meeting people, like going out, being able to shake hands and have conversations, and just be around our homies and kicking it. But the pandemic did not allow that. It actually cut it off abruptly, right? So for me, somebody that gets inspiration directly from meeting other people and having different conversations, it was hard for me to get back in the swing of just being a songwriter. So what I had to do was I had to challenge myself and come in here in the studio and sit in the studio for 8-9 hours and just come up with just grabbing stuff out of the air and just making music, just making concepts and songs out of it. So that was actually an area that I kind of struggled in as a songwriter. But with the pandemic, it showed me that you need to strengthen that area of your songwriting as well, because sometimes you may be in a situation to where you can't get inspiration from going to holler at, somebody that was sitting at the bar when y'all was having a couple of drinks. So you have to be well-rounded enough to be able to create in any setting. Yeah, that's all that was, man. It was 10 years of building a foundation. And now, 1 year after the 10th year, you start to build your house. You know what I mean? You start to build a home or something, that you start to build something that's really yours. Because at the end of the day, all you were doing, it was 10 years of artist development. That's all. 10 years of artist development. And I feel like I literally did over 10 years of artist development before things started to really pop off, and just that people started to realize oh, this dude actually can sing, he can actually write. So I mean, I tell people all the time, man, you cannot skip the experience. You can't skip the experience. First of all, without the experience, you won't even know what to really appreciate when it comes to you. For you're not going to appreciate that first major placement unless you got told 100 times no. You know what I mean? You're not going to appreciate, you appreciate it, but trust me, you'll appreciate it much more when you get that breath of fresh air, oh man, I got a placement that I've been trying to get for the last 6 years, So I tell people, man, you can't skip the experience. You don't want to skip the experience. Trust me, it is so much, knowledge and just things to know, and how so much more room to grow within the experience, man. And the experience is it's probably the most beautiful part to me. It's those sleepless nights. It's those, you took a whole year to do an album, and then when you put it out, nobody really listened to it. So that's an experience of just kind of being let down. But you keep going because you love it. You love the creative process. You love just putting your feelings and putting your emotions on, onto a song, because it's a release for you. And, eventually people will start to realize your passion and work ethic, and that what you sing about is what you really went through, and that they can relate to it. But you have to build that fan base and build that solid foundation of fans to really understand where he came from, what he's doing now, and why he makes this type of music. Because it's a story. People follow a story. People fall in love with an artist because they feel like they know him, they feel like they can relate to him. And, they feel like, hey, one day I can really be in his shoes because we went through some of the same things. And that's the experience. That's it. And that's the beautiful thing about it, man. You put all this time into it, and then, 12, 13 years later, Now you where you want to be. But you know, hey man, there's no time on. It's never our time. It's always God's time. It's always God's time. And music. That's the one thing about music. You can make music when at 60 years old and get a hit. You never know. Music is music. If it feels good, it feels good. Now you may not be able to do a lot of stuff at 60, like you're going on a 100 city tour, but you can still, still live your dream.